First episode, Ghetto But It Works. I always say if you're not anxious, you're not excited. The code is beep. I got two.
No, but I'm saying like.
Nah, that's first time. This fits exactly. Live number one. This is exactly what we're shooting for.
Can I go upstairs and get my food?
This is how we go. Hey y'all, welcome to Ghetto But It Works. From the people that come from nothing and make it work. Some of us fake it till we make it. Some of us make it and we still fake it. Today we got a special guest, especially because it's the first episode that we've ever had. We got my man Cruz.
How's everybody doing? Cruz?
Nice, man. How you been?
Doing good, bro. Doing
Yeah?
good. I just came from we came from the suburbs. We're from Elgin. My boy Moy invited me over and said, let's just do a pod. Because I actually tried to do a pod like a year ago. I tried. It's hard work. It's hard work. Like, people don't know the background work, the shit that gets done behind the scenes, like from editing and all that other stuff. And I'm like, bro, I mean, at this point, I just want to be on the pod. We never dropped any of the clips, but just being here, honestly, bro, I appreciate you guys for inviting me.
No, and that's facts. Gerardo knows the man behind the scenes, behind the camera, the brains of everything.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. I was trying to do this a year ago. Same title, everything Ghetto But It Works. Yeah. Me and my buddies actually built this whole studio in one of my friend's house. We used it. He had those long garages where it's like one car, or it's like only a single car, but you can fit two cars. And we just split that in half, made the whole room. It never went through. So last time I was in a podcast with the boys, Los Boys. If you're watching this, make sure you check them out. Check them out. We're all in the market.
Yes,
Shout out to the market. But you're right, man. The work that goes behind it, you need a solid team. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Facts.
I mean, in anything, right? Anything that you want to be successful in, you just need that solid core behind it with the right intentions in mind.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, that's right, man. But tell me a little bit about yourself. Where you grew up?
So, born and raised in Elgin. You know, I try to move here and there. Always come back to Elgin. Yeah, bro. Shout out Elgin. Always come back to Elgin.
It's like a black hole.
Yeah.
Brings your ass back whether you want it or not.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If you really, I mean, people really think that Elgin is not what it's not like the top shelf, the best city, whatnot. But honestly, it's what you make of it.
That's facts.
Honestly. So it's like, I hear a lot of people used to complain about being from Elgin, but I made the best out of it. And I'm still working, and I'm blessed. So I don't got nothing bad to say about Elgin. But I was born and raised in Elgin.
Sherman Hospital?
Sherman Hospital, the old
one, right by
Sherman, if you guys know.
Slade,
Sherman.
by Slade Avenue. Yeah,
the
shout
old
out.
Sherman. I went to Elgin High, so if anybody from here knows Elgin High, I was class of 2014. Then I went to college. So I went to college, and I did 2 years of accounting. I fucking hated it, bro.
Yeah, where'd you go?
I went to ECC.
Nice.
So I went to ECC. I took 2 years of accounting. The last semester I was there, I was just like, this is not for me. So I switched majors. I switched to physical therapy. And I took a year of physical therapy school. And then I just started doing that shit. It wasn't working out to the point where I know I'm at a point where I need to make money.
Yeah.
And I know that I have to, like my parents weren't helping me with books or any of that.
Right.
So I had to, find a real job. So I started doing property management at that point. That was 2017. Did property management to pay off school, but then property management took 50 hours of my week. I had no time for school. So then I just dropped out of college, and fast forward to today, I'm still doing real estate. So yeah.
That's awesome. Let's backtrack a little bit because I definitely want to get into the real estate aspect of things. But how'd you get into property management? Did you know someone? Did you just start going on Indeed, or back in the day, what was
It was
Craigslist?
Indeed, bro. It was Indeed. I kid you not. So I had a gig at T-Mobile. I used to be a salesperson there. So I was at a point where I was just like, I need a better job. I was a year and a half working at T-Mobile.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 20.
20?
20. Yeah, I worked at T-Mobile. I was doing pretty good at T-Mobile. I was one of the top salesperson there. But I just needed more money, and I kid you not, I was applying for jobs while I was working at T-Mobile.
Yeah,
that's
how you know.
I was applying for jobs, and I applied for this one property management job. The next day I got a call, and it was my day off. So I said, you know what, I can go up there right now and interview if you want me right now. I'll go, and I did. Got the job on the spot. I kid you not, bro. It was like, shout out to them because I still keep a good relationship with them because they really pretty much introduced me to all this shit.
Yeah.
But that's basically my how I segued into property management.
Yeah.
And from there, I did that for a year and a half, got my broker's license, and then I just started doing all this.
Did you know you want to do real estate before you got into property management, or did you just kind of get into property management for some extra money, and then you kind of saw how things were going?
Yeah,
there?
I saw that it was a lucrative business.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have many doors. So for a property manager to really make money, you can't just manage 10, 20, 30 buildings. You really got to dive into like, I guess, 100 is minimum. Not even. I think nowadays 200, 300 is what you have to do. Yes, you have to manage those units in order to see profits. Like, because whenever you manage a property, you don't really like. There's a lot of work.
Do you feel like you've been successful so far with real estate?
Yeah, I say that I've been doing real good. Right now, I'm part of a team. Probably make my own team in like the next 5 years. So that's probably like my 5-year plan. I don't have nothing like. I'm comfortable right now where I'm at, but at the same time, I don't want to get too comfortable.
Right, seek discomfort, man. That's the only way to grow.
Yeah, I don't want to get too comfortable. But as of right now, I think that the team business works because pretty much for my business, all I do is go out on appointments. And whenever I have to fill out paperwork, whatever the case may be, I just hit up my admin.
You delegate that.
Yeah, she takes care of that. And I'm not the team leader, so somebody else oversees the operations of like the admin, the client manager, whatever the case may be. In a way, I'm just the face of the well, I guess myself, my team, and whatever transaction I do. But I really do appreciate that. But at the same time, it's like I know at one point I want to be the team leader, you know, and obviously like I want to make my own team and probably have like 20 agents under my umbrella and, you know, help them grow. And obviously whenever they grow, I make money off of that. So there's money in that. But yeah, that's still something that's not really, I'm not so set into doing that anytime soon because I have a kid. I have a daughter.
So is that where you get your inspiration, like from her, or
Yeah.
even before her, like there was something that kind of drove you to it?
She was the one that pretty much helped me get my head on straight because before that, 2 years ago, all I really did was just doing it for myself.
Yeah.
So if I look back, I've been doing this for 5 years, but if I look back 2 years ago, all my business that I did in real estate, I would just reap the benefits of like being successful to the point where I could take care of myself and like I can go to like party on the weekends or buy me some nice stuff, whatever the case may be. But then when she came, I knew I had to double up. So I knew that I had to like really make sure that I'm not thinking just for one, I'm thinking for two.
Right.
I got somebody else. And the thing is, I'll be honest with you, and I probably not every parent is gonna say this or feel this way, but having a kid is not as expensive as I thought it would be when like growing up, don't have a kid at a young age or whatnot. It's not that bad. But I say that because I just pretty recently, in the last year, what I did is I made her an account. So like all the money that I thought was gonna be like expensive on wearing clothes on her or whatnot, she has everything. But all that's left over from that, I put that into that account. So she has like her own
A little
savings
trust,
at one point.
kind of like
Yeah,
a trust.
she already has something set off.
Right, and that's key too, because like we both come from Hispanic backgrounds, cultures. I could speak for myself. My mom didn't even have a retirement plan until she was like in her 40s, right? And it's like we grew up like seeing these like kind of everyone's working, busting their ass all day, basically for nothing, right? Because they're still living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
But us growing up in this like younger generation, kind of seeing how things work, we always talk about how like, at least me personally, I grew up in St. Charles for a bit, and all my friends are white. St. Charles is just, it's a white community. Shout out to them. I learned a lot from them. But at that age, I genuinely thought that the only way you could be successful in life is if you were white. As crazy as that sounds, right? But like a little 10-year-old boy that's only seeing that, right? Like there's only one apartment complex or major apartment complex in St. Charles, and every Hispanic or minority lived in that apartment complex.
Right.
And then the whole town was all houses, and it was for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
but that's key. Like doing that trust fund and like or savings and like all these other accounts for your kid is preparing them for when they get to that stage. That's what other generations from different ethnic groups have been doing forever.
Right.
And we've been looking at them like, oh man, how are they always so like successful or well off from like the get-go? Or I remember being in middle school, like kids were talking to me about what colleges they're gonna go to. I'm like, man, I don't even know what college is.
I don't even know what college.
Right,
is.
but these kids are like raised and they grow up in like an environment where since like 5 years old, or at least they're like college football fans, right? So like I'm gonna go to Ohio State or like some big college school,
Facts.
right? Like all these random things, but it's implementing that into their heads.
Yeah, you got that right, and that's true because you're right. Our pretty much Hispanic culture, we really didn't get taught how to do certain things like save money and whatnot. Or nowadays more so, it's not about saving; it's about investing in it because you want to see that. Yeah, you want to see that pretty much
inflation.
Yeah, you want to see that make money for you. But
right.
My parents, they never really told me, oh, whenever you get a paycheck, throw half of that into your savings and spend the other half, whatever you want to do. None of that. But I know other cultures do. In my business, when I remember I was helping this guy, he's Hindu, and I was helping this guy rent out his apartment, and then he brought a family member to the appointment with him. And then he told me the family member that he had just came from India. He didn't even speak English. So when I tried to talk to him, it was like, we were really, that was, the language barrier was there.
Like
so I didn't
sign
really
language
talk to him
and shit, right?
Yeah, so I talked to him. I talked to my client that I was supposed to help. And he told me, oh yeah, he just came from India. I'm trying to teach him the game of real estate and like make sure that he's well aware of what do you have to do, what do you have to look out for tenants and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, bro, I don't see that in our culture. In our culture. I don't see that. I never saw that. I mean, probably most I've seen in our culture is like, how to open up a small business at the Yankees or something.
If that, right? Like a little flea market, side action.
There's nothing wrong with doing that, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just.
Think about the bigger picture, right? People are only focused on that main thing right there. They're not going big. I always say like you'll never see a minority or Hispanic kid ever say they want to be a president, right? Like if you ever ask a kid, it's like, what do you want to be in life? They'll mention all these other things, but they'll never mention something like being a president, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And it's because we've never seen it, right? Like it's one of the, like I remember my first ever Puerto Rican teacher, instructor, professor was in college, and at that point he was like, I think you'd be a great instructor, and it wasn't until that point that I was like, man, I could do this, right? And I didn't think of it then, but it's because I'm seeing someone that looks like me, was raised the same way as me, came from the same background, actually doing it. That makes me feel like I could do that. That's the goal with this podcast too. We're looking at, even if you look at the podcast world, right? Like if you go on YouTube and you look up like the top few podcasts there is, right? 'Cause it's basically like 5 main ones, right? You got like Joe Rogan, you got the Nelk Boys, you got a few other ones, right? It's basically the same type of people, right? Same type of guests that are coming in there, and like what we're trying to do is reach that like little 5-year-old or 6-year-old that comes from a similar background that we do, right? And then they're able to see them, and maybe one day they're like, oh, I want to have my own podcast.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's not like a fantasy, but it actually becomes like a goal, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that's the biggest thing.
I think that in today's society too, you just know that there's just thousands of ways for you to make money. You used to have to go outside and make money. Now you could just stay inside.
Door to door type thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Back then, door to door. Yeah, you used to do like all of that, and now you could just stay in the comfort of your home and be making a decent living off of just from anything from ASMR like videos where like people are like crunching soaps or whatever the case may be. Like,
do you get into that? Do you like that type of shit?
No.
Well, what's your like little I guess guilty pleasure? Like do you go on YouTube? Like I'm a YouTube guy. I'm on YouTube probably more than I'm on anything else.
I'll say that one of the things that I guess I watch. Who?
Pornhub.
Nah. Recently, I've been on. I don't know if you guys know the show Undercover Boss.
Yo, I was watching that yesterday morning.
And that's been.
Does that make you cry though? Because it makes me get like all water, like tear eye and all that shit.
I wouldn't say it makes me cry, but I know that like some, I'm like, I know these owners are making like billions of dollars, and then like
You got a 14 an hour,
they finally get to be on the ground and like literally
experience what it is. Like that bullshit ass job you got me working for.
Oh man, let me tell you about the bogus one that I saw. It was the MGM Grand boss. I don't know. So it's like, you know, everybody knows the MGM Grand
Casino.
The casino. So like, you know, the casino's making millions, if not, you know, billions, whatever.
Millions a month.
Yeah. And the boss was, you know, undercover. He was trying to like help out the like trying to understand what's wrong with the business and whatnot, and where do employees fail and whatnot. Long story short, he went through all of that. He noticed that the employees were going through a really hard time in this work business and whatnot. Like from I think one of the employees was like he was a veteran, and you know how you can smoke cigarettes inside a casino. That he was getting like health issues from that. And what really I didn't like was the fact that this owner, like, they make millions, and you know, at the end they always try to like gift the employees like something.
Right, they go and sit down.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
I got you $250 so you can buy a house.
Right.
I got you. If you go outside, we have a brand new car for you.
Right, it's like a paid trip to Disney for you
Yeah,
and your kids.
Yeah. This boss, and I hope this doesn't backfire if he or she ever, I don't remember if it was a he or she, but here's this. But he basically said, I'm only going to give you $5,000 as a donation to your charity of choice. It was nothing.
Not even for him?
Yeah, not even for the employees. He said, oh, it's going to be under your name. And if you know how donations work,
tax breaks.
That's a tax break
That's
for the
a
owner.
tax
That's
break.
a tax break
That's
for the
a
owner.
tax break.
So it's like damn.
Right.
Like I appreciate how the employees they were crying. They were like, oh, so thank you.
It's for the cameras.
It's for the cameras, bro. And I was reading the comments, and they're like, oh, that's all.
Right.
So I wasn't the only one that was thinking that, but still, it's just, you know.
They're making plenty for a $5,000 donation to your favorite charity, whatever bullshit that is.
This is a tax write-off.
But I was watching. This one's kind of funny. I was watching the Hooters one. Have you seen that one?
No, that one I have not.
No, so the Hooters CFO, I think it was undercover for Hooters, and they had all these. It was like they go to this guy who's like a middle-aged Caucasian dude. And he was the type of guy, like, he was a peaked in high school type frat dude, and he's like talking to he's got all the girls there, and as soon as they show up, he's like, all right, like he's telling the CFO, obviously he doesn't know this, right? But he's telling the CFO, like, all right, tell her how bad her nails look, and they're walking up to her and he's saying like, yeah, your nails don't look good, like all this, like other like random stuff. Yeah. And at the end, like, it was a slow day, so he's like, all right, who wants to get cut first, right? Servers. Right. I don't know if you ever worked in the food industry, but basically, if you're a waiter or waitress, like, if it's slow, they'll start cutting people off to go home.
Yeah.
And so all these girls are raising their hands. Someone like, oh, I have school, like I need to get to, and all these things. And this guy, he goes, all right, we're gonna do a competition. We're going to put all these beans on a plate, and you can't use your hands. And it's like, first one to eat it with, like, just your mouth. And, like, these poor girls are just fucking...
That's fucked up.
Like, eating all this shit. And, like, once, like, the CFO saw that, he still didn't stop it. Like, that's what kind of, like, fucked me over. I'm like, yo, like, before it even gets going anywhere, like, that's such a bad rep already for your company.
Right.
Stop it right there. But he let it go through.
He wasn't trying to blow his cover, though.
Right, exactly. Afterwards, he brought it up. But still, I'm like, man, like, that's some shit. Like, if you're the owner of that company, I think it's better for you to just stop it at that point. Yeah. Blow your damn cover. Yeah. Get rid of that.
That's corny as hell now that I think about it. That's my, I guess, guilty pleasure as of late. And but yeah, you asked, and I just told you the truth.
But going back, we got a little fucking rant right there about our guilty pleasures.
My bad.
Did you go to college because you wanted to, or was because that's what your family kind of told you growing up?
Bro, so I come from a large group of friends, and it was like a group of friends, like 10, 15 of us. Only 2 or 3 of us went to college. I was one of those. One of my guys, he used to tell me, bro, just know that you're doing that for your mom and your dad. Like, you're not doing that for yourself. Like, we know that that's what's really behind you going to college. So I was like, yeah, man, I try to, like, deny it. I was like, you know what? No, that's not true. Like, I actually want to go to college.
Yeah.
And then I know that I was like, yo, that's true. Like, I was doing it for my parents, and my inspiration pretty much was through the roof during those years. But once you just get to see, and I guess it's like, it's not whatever you do is not for everybody. Like, some people are not meant to go to college. some people are meant to have a 9 to 5 job, you know, like,
Right.
like
Not everyone's built to be an owner.
yeah,
Right? Or
not
business
only
owner
that,
or
and
entrepreneur.
just like we're not like built to be a 9 to 5 person. The 9 to 5 person just is not.
They like that. They like that strict
They like
schedule,
that,
right?
bro.
They
And
wake up, they go home, they
if-
don't worry about work anymore.
if I'm being
right?
honest with you, sometimes I miss that because I know
Right.
that I carry work with me all the time.
Yep.
Like so, like my phone is blowing up at 9 at night, and I'm in bed. I'm just thinking like, man, like why are you calling me this late? But I know it's like an emergency, so let me take care of it.
And you have to.
I have to. And that's the thing that one thing I remember when I used to work at T-Mobile, we had to ask the people, hey, do you own a business account? Because we wanted to open business accounts for them. And then one of the guys told me, that stuck with me forever. He told me, I asked him, do you have a business account? He said, no, why the fuck would I have a business account? I just want to have like a 9 to 5, regular 9 to 5. My boss tells me what I got to do. I go home and that's it. And I was just like, he didn't have no issue with that. And I was like, bro, not everybody is going to think like yourself.
Right.
So I was just like, yo, like that's true. And I respect that. I respect that. There's a reason why like you gotta like, I guess it also ties down to like that undercover boss. Like you have to know why your team is the way that they are. Yeah, and everybody's playing the role. It's all a collaborative effort.
Seek for like friends or something to do it with you, like kind of uplift them with you, or are you kind of like the I'm gonna do it by myself type thing?
I kind of am the type to like go through it myself first and then let me come back and tell you what I got.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's that one saying where like you go over the mountain? It's like a story, like somebody goes over the mountain and then comes back and talks to the village like, oh, there's so-and-so over here. If you guys want to come, all right, come. That's just how I operate. I'm pretty sure I would strive in a team setting, but for like my guys, I'm pretty much the one that once I know I'm comfortable, I'm gonna put you on.
Right.
Like I'm gonna put you on. Like I'm gonna put you on. Like I already know what I'm gonna do. It's just a matter of time, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I bring that up because I've always been one of those guys where like if I eat, like we're all eating type thing, right?
Right.
But I've learned, and this has been probably the biggest life lesson I've had this year, where it's if you're waiting on like your people, right, to like come up with you, like you'll never make it type thing. And that's why I respect when you say I'm kind of like the guy that goes over the mountain first and then comes back and lets you know what's on the other side. And if you want to join, come and join.
Right.
For me, it's always been like I have these great ideas, right? Like the podcast is a prime example. Me and my boys were all like collaborating on this thing. Like we all wanted to do it, right? And then we built a room. We started talking about all these things, and it just never actually happened. And then for a full year, like the podcast just died, right? And if it wasn't until a couple of weeks back, me and Gerardo sat down, we talked about this, and we were like, yo, let's do it, right? And then that's when I started learning. It's like there's nothing wrong with, like I love my boys to death, gamers, y'all know it. But it's once you meet other people that have the kind of the same drive, same mindset, like you start seeing how things just start going. Like, click,
that's
click,
facts.
click, going
That's
right.
facts.
And it's I feel, and nothing against them because it's actually my fault, right? I feel like I was kind of held back in a sense because I was waiting on them, right? And it's like why my thing was like I'm motivated. I want to do this, but I feel like I need my tribe with me, right, to actually get this going. Like I need an army, and in reality, you just need an army of two, right? Like you yourself, and then if you got one other person, like. Do you know who Joey Diaz is? Is that comedian?
Yeah, the one with the deep ass voice.
Yeah,
he's cool.
He's got like this iconic
Three
video.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, like you give me 3 motherfuckers and I'll run the fucking world or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're
bro,
talking about.
When he said that, like that's true though, right?
It's
like,
true. It's true.
You don't need this. Matter of fact, the bigger your group, the worse it's gonna be in that, right? Like
It's tough, yeah.
It's tough.
It's
like
tough.
you gotta manage all these different mindsets. How was your first? You have rental properties of your own now, or do you?
No. So I had with my parents, and I got at a point where I took over, but
did you pitch in too, or was it was already in the family and you kind
it was already in the family.
You took over it now?
Yeah. It was already in the family. So
did you take care of like the tenants and all these things now?
yeah,
or?
I took care of all that. And then I pretty much managed all the rentals and the income and whatnot, splits and whatnot. But it was just like a family business for the most part. They were still under my parents' name, but oh man, recently they got divorced. So they less than a month ago, maybe a month and a half, all the proceeds got split. So everybody walked away and no more rental. But with that money that we made out of it, I'm plotting right now. Yeah. So back to square one basically, and we'll see where we're headed. But yeah,
You were talking about how your parents got divorced.
yeah.
How was your childhood?
You know what, bro? I had a pretty decent childhood, from what I remember. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like I always grew up in a household where when I was young, we all would gather up for that dinner. You know, like regular 5 o'clock, 5:30. Would
Nice.
all eat. That was like a blessing for me. And then growing up, it was. I will say the only thing is, if you guys knew Elgin during those times, there was always shootings where I was
Gangs.
at. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my next door neighbor would have a drive by once a month, bro.
Yeah.
And I grew up on that. Thank God, I never had any bad luck with anything of that. But
Did you ever get into like the gangs, or were you always kind of
nah, bro.
smarter than that?
Nah, bro. I mean, I grew up with family members who were gangbangers, and
Yup.
to each his own. And I was just a young kid around.
They're the
them.
nicest people too, right? Like I swear to God, like I have family members are in gangs,
Yeah.
or were in gangs, and when you talk to them, you think they're like the sweetest little pooch
Yeah.
in the world, and you,
Yeah.
you actually see them, they're like, oh fucking teardrops.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Thankfully, like another thing that really helped me was like all my guys. We grew up with like in the same block.
Yeah.
So like the kids the guys that I talk to now, my friends, they're the same ones that I was with on that block. So that's just like,
Damn, you still got that core group?
yeah, we still got that core
Wow.
group. Shout out to them. Shout out to
Shout
them. Call them Geek Squad. October 10. Shout out to them. They're my guys. And that was like the biggest help. I guess another thing, I mean, as of late, what's really fucked me up was my parents' divorce because I got so tied in it.
Yeah.
But
Are you close with both of them?
I'm close. Yeah, I'm very close with both of them, and it was very unfortunate that I got tied in it. But for you, I mean, I guess it sucks that they got divorced, but you were at a young age where you didn't know.
I always say that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always say that.
So I completely understand, and for me, that was like the biggest impact in my life because I grew up just thinking that their relationship was gonna last forever. So it wasn't until when they told me they were gonna get divorced.
Thought it was a joke?
Yeah, I got blindsided. I didn't know. That
You thought they were happy?
Yeah, I thought they were happy. I heard them argue, but I never really thought any of it because I was like, oh, couples argue. You know what I'm saying? Couples argue. And then when they told me, I just could not believe it. And from there, I was doing property management when they told me. I had just started real estate. From there, I got hit with like a wave of emotions where I was like, am I doing enough? Am I the problem because I didn't go to college? Is my little brother and sister gonna take this well? For some reason, I felt like the pressure was on me. Like I was the reason why their marriage failed. So that's.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest. Yeah. So I was pretty much at that point where what it really did, it made me like fight or flight mode. I don't know why. I quit the property management job and I just took I went to be a real estate broker with no money saved up, no idea who I'm gonna, like I told you, like it took 2.5 years for me to learn this shit down to the core. I was a year and a half was in real estate, and then the other year I spent myself freelancing. But for some reason, I thought that was gonna be the solution. Like, let me make myself successful, and maybe that will save my parents' marriage. And as stupid as it sounds, that's just what I thought it was, because I always just blame myself for it to this day. And then it wasn't it. It wasn't it. Like, officially, my parents divorced August of 2021. And like I said, we just got rid of all their portfolio in July of this year.
Would sell it all and then split in half?
Sell it all. It wasn't really in half. It sucks. It sucks because that's another thing that really impacted the way that I see relationships, bro. Because
Right. Once it's going down and money comes involved, man, things are different.
yeah. It's like I just thought, like, damn, like I don't want to go through that. And unfortunately, like I could either play the victim of their failed relationship, or I could be,
It could be a lesson you learn.
yeah,
Like
it could
life
be a lesson you learn. And I'm still fighting that battle, if I'm being honest.
I know you have a child and everything, but like when you are done, gonzo, right? You're in heaven if you believe in heaven. If you're a frog, if you believe in reincarnation, whatever it is. What do you want the daughter, your friends, your family to kind of remember you by?
I just want to be remembered as a wise individual, somebody that is able to like give you different perspectives of life, and how I always grew up telling my brothers and sisters is like, if there's one thing that I want you to take away from me, is either how to do things or how not to do things.
All right. Thank you for watching. If you stayed all the way through the end, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment down what you liked. I appreciate you for having us.
Thank you, bro.
For coming as a guest, I should say.
Thank you, bro.
First episode of many. Stay tuned. Follow the market. We got those boys as well, and hell other shit coming through. So just keep posting.